is Monday the 3rd of January. I just took the bolognese out of the slow cooker, so I've got 5 portions of that. I'm going to put the chilli in the slow cooker. I have done this in the past, I think, so I might not show you the recipe this week, but it's not really a recipe. I just throw a bunch of frozen stuff in a slow cooker and leave it to cook. So yeah, I got these. I'm going to start out my freezer drawer and see if I can get more stuff to fit in the freezer, and then I'm going to get on with some work. I am going to run this morning at some point, but I was going to wait till my mum runs because then we're running at the same time and I'll be motivated a little bit more. And I want to get a little bit of work done. I'll just finalise what I'm going to do over the next few days and how much I need to get done. Okay, so I did quickly get changed into my running gear because as soon as this is done, I'm going on a run. And that's going to just freshen me up a bit. I'm going to come back, shower, get something to eat, and then work. Now, so today is MTM and I have 5 bullet points left. 4.5 if you count the fact that I only have one part of a 3-part bullet point left. So it's got like 3 concepts and I only have one of them left. So it's 5 bullet points. Tomorrow's CP and I only have 3 left, so I'm going to get through as much of MTM as today. Go to the revision session at 6 PM for an hour. That's going to count towards my study time for the day. And then tomorrow, 3 bullet points and a study session at the end of the day. So that's what I'm going to do. Hopefully I'll finish as much of embryology as I can today so that tomorrow I don't have to do as much. And fingers crossed all goes well. So I'm going to go on my run now. It has just started tipping it down, so it won't be that long. I'm going to run, I'm thinking of running around the university and back here, because that'll just give me quite a long run, but not so long. Like I could run through the university if I know I'm not going to make it. So we shall see how that goes. I'm going to run, shower, and then work all day. That was exhausting. I got well on the way with my MTM revision. So today I revised cell proliferation and differentiation, as well as metabolism, which, to be honest, when I did it again, I actually understood it, which is impressive because the first time I watched the lectures, I was completely lost. But yes, I revised those 2 modules this morning and then did a couple weeks of embryology at the end of the day. MTM is an amazing topic. It is molecules to medicine, and it just brings together all of the aspects of what a human is in the other modules. Okay, so I just finished my clinical genetics work. I've done everything genetics that we've been set since the beginning of September. I'm going to go back to week 8 now and do the clinical genetics seminar worksheet we got given, because that'll help me recall the information I've just done and it'll just put it right at the front of my brain for when I do the exams in a couple of weeks. I say a couple of weeks because this content won't be till my exam next Thursday, so that's a little bit longer. I think it's 11 days. So I'm glad I'm working through this content on time. MTM is almost done. I've got 3 bullet points left, one of which is this clinical genetics worksheet. Once I finish that, I'm going to take a break, have lunch, then I'm going to come back and do final bullet points. I am definitely not going to finish embryology today because I'm not going to set that expectation, because it's such a wide concept, like content, it's just so much. But I am going to get through as much as I can today, and hopefully I can get most of it done so I don't have much to do tomorrow. For MTM, I recovered the slides as well as my notes and made consolidated notes and diagrams. Okay, hi. So it's just gone at 4:20. I've spent the afternoon. I finished off most of MTM. I'm still doing embryology. I'm on week 3 now. This is quite challenging to get through because there's just so much content in the textbook, and honestly, watching the videos, I know roughly what I need to know, but I don't need to know everything. I'm going through, I drew almost all the diagrams for week 4 and 5 so that they're just there ready, because I like to draw them myself so I can get like an idea of what I'm doing and what is moving where each step. It also makes my notes look nicer. But yes, I'm trying to understand like what she wants me to learn from these lectures. Week 3 I'm just finishing now. It was the trilaminar germ disc, and I'm moving on to week 4. it'll be nice to get on understanding how the blood supply and everything develops for the fetus. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now. That evening I joined the Mtm Revision Session, which was on Zoom, put on by the MedSoc Society. It was a very useful revision session because it reaffirmed the fact that I've actually learnt things during this revision series. So it was very good to do. They asked questions and gave me information that I didn't have, which was very useful. But I didn't use these for every session because some of them were not as useful as this one. But that is definitely because every student approached these differently and I preferred some of them to others. I then finished off the evening playing Yahtzee online with my family, which I didn't win, but it was still super fun. So it is Tuesday the 4th of January, it is now 7:30. So I've been up a bit, I got breakfast and just made my bed and stuff like that. I was looking through my list for CEP revision is tonight, so I need to finish CEP today, and I only have three points left, which you can see about here. You can only see a little bit, but yeah, I've got 3 points left. Intro to endocrinology, hormone synthesis and action, and then the thyroid and the parathyroid. So once I've finished all 3 of those, that is all of CEP revised. Now, I'm still not very confident on pharmacology, but I feel like no matter how many times I do pharmacology, I'm not going to be confident on it. So when I'm revising CEP, I'm going to put an extra emphasis on pharmacology when I'm doing it all again before my exams. Just want to get through everything once before the exams, obviously. So 3 checkpoints. I spent the past, I want to say half an hour-ish, opening all the tabs so that I have endocrinology, the PowerPoint slides here, I have my notes open on my iPad too. Thyroid, I have a bunch of tabs open because there's a lot for the thyroid. They're all open ready, and then I realised I forgot to put my iPad on charge, and by forget to put it on charge, I plugged it in but I didn't turn the plug on. So that's charging now, but it should be done soon, and I'm going to get started with the work, you know, because I need to. Revising CEP, I made mind maps on the glands. Now, I haven't shown these, but they will be up on my Instagram very soon. But these posters had many a factor about 5 different glands that we need to know in detail for the body this year. And I did blood supply, diseases, what the function is, histology, and it was very fun. Hey guys, so it is now 9 o'clock. I just finished the first bullet point of the day, intro to endocrinology and hormone synthesis and action. So now that that's done, all I've got left is the thyroid and the parathyroid. Now, I'm going to do a revision, how I'm revising the different subjects in a proper video, because I feel like a lot of the videos just tell you to do the same thing for every subject, but it's not working for me. Personally, I can't just learn from questions. I need to actually learn the content itself and practice going through it. So for the glands, for endocrinology especially, I've done a lot of mind maps, splitting them into key features. So I made a list of everything I need to do for that gland, including like its blood supply, its nerve supply, that sort of thing. Then I make a mind map connecting all those pieces of information, and I make questions on it after I've done the mind map. Because once I've made the mind map and linked those concepts together in my head, I can visualise that when I'm answering questions. So it's especially useful for me to go through the information again and do this. I'm still finding it quite hard with the diseases because there's a lot of signs and symptoms for the diseases. I don't really know how many I need to know, but I'm picking out 3 or 4 key ones that are specific to that condition, and I highlight those on my mind map so that I can remember those. They stand out in my head because they're a different colour. So that's what I'm doing. Something I didn't really realise when I first started studying the glands was how important the anatomy of the glands is. So I used Complete Anatomy, which is a digital resource that the university provides and pays for, and this lets me move around, get a 3D image of the structures that are surrounding the gland, what goes into the gland, what comes out, where it sits exactly in the body, and that just helps me grasp a full understanding of the gland. please let me know in the comments if you think mind maps are a useful way to revise, or if you use it to consolidate your learning before the questions. Okay, so I've been at this for an hour and a bit, almost an hour and a half. I'm on the final part of parathyroid glands, which is the diseases and the hormones part. But motivation is lacking. I think it's because I'm stuck in this room, but I'm going to go to the library tomorrow just to get somewhere different, but for now I have to be here because there's no point in leaving for like an hour and a half and then coming back when I can just power through. So that's what we're gonna do. After such a long day revising, I got a snack and I cut up some apple and I just ate that as I got on with my work. It was very refreshing just to have some fruit to get on with the day, which was very nice to have. And this is the moment where I realised I was going to finish CEP today, and I finished the parathyroid glands just after I'd finished the thyroid glands. So good news, I just finished everything. Well, not everything. I have officially finished CEP, so I'm going to charge everything now because everything's a little bit dead. My laptop's on like 10% and my Apple Pencil is on 20 because I've not charged, I've been using it. So I'm going to charge those, but I've officially finished everything CEP again. So I'm going to do the CEP revision session at 6 PM, so I've got about half an hour before I eat dinner at 5, and then I think with this half an hour I'm just going to chill out because my brain is smush. So I just finished dinner and now I'm settling in at my desk again. I've done 6 hours 53 minutes according to my forest today, so after I finish the online Zoom session, which is normally an hour to an hour and a half long, I'll be done for the day. Then I'll be able to snuggle up in bed on FaceTime to my boyfriend playing Animal Crossing. So I'm very excited to just get this done and finish the day. Now, I don't know if this CEP revision session was any good because I left it early because we found out the exams were online and I was devastated. I started Wednesday morning with a run and then got back and headed to the medical school library for the day because I knew that I needed to get out and to the library. So I just want to talk a little bit about why I was devastated the exams were off, and mostly it was just because I wasn't expecting it. I was fully expecting them to be in person. I felt like I'd revised so much for them to now be moved online and that revision to not be as useful as I thought it would be. But in general, I'm fine that they're online, and honestly it's not that big of an issue. So I got on with some NAS revision in the library. It was very empty for this time of the week and I was quite shocked, but it was nice to get on with the work in a very quiet environment, and somewhat the library just motivates me more. And would you be surprised, but this is, shock horror, my favourite spot in the library. I did almost all of NAS. I think there was only 3 bullet points left by the end of the day. But NAS, I go through the PowerPoint slides, I go through questions and notes I've written before, and then I write consolidated notes, draw my own diagrams, that sort of thing, to just link the concepts together in my head a bit more, because physically linking those concepts is so much better than doing questions for me. And then at the end of the day, I just ticked off all of my tasks once they were finished, and it felt so good. So let's talk about how I revise my PPP modules, which is my People's, Patients and Populations module. So I use the learning guide, which comes with a bunch of learning objectives for each lecture. I then write out those learning objectives and use my notes, lecture slides, internet to answer and fill in all the information I can about those learning objectives. So on my screen right now, the pink bits are the learning objectives and the black bits are the notes regarding those learning objectives. So this means I just have one document with all the information consolidated so that when I get stuck, I can refer to it and find out the information that I need. Now this takes me less time than it does for every other module, but somewhat is more challenging because I have to think a lot more. And as you can see, this is how I organise it, and it's been very useful for me so far in my PPP revision. I did this up until my week 12 mock, so I know it works because week 12 was the best week I've done for PPP exams. I then got on with some anatomy revision because PPP revision session was on Friday, so I just wanted to get a little bit done so I didn't have to spend all day typing on Friday. So For regional anatomy, I'm making mind maps with the learning objectives and writing as much information as I think we need for that section, which I can give you in advance because I've just done the regional anatomy exam, and the answer is I don't know everything and I didn't write everything I needed. But I did get a lot of work done, and it's so nice to have all the information that I know I definitely need in one place to look at and refer to during my open book exams, but also for in the future if I ever forget something. I then carried on sitting at my desk in my room again, and I was like, oh, it's snowing! And it was snowing outside, which very quickly faded with the rain, don't worry. But it was a very good day overall. I finished it editing and watching a live stream from my boyfriend on Twitch. Okay, so it is now Friday morning. I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14 things left on my to-do list and 3 days to do them in. I knew this was a bad idea, but it's too late now. So I have to do 5 today, 5 tomorrow, 4 on Saturday. Sunday. Oh my. So I'm going to try and do 5 today. I'm going to finish the lateral pelvic wall from yesterday, do the reflexes for NAS. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one bullet point of each module and then go back to the first module and do it again. Embryology is going to take ages. But also the exam for embryology isn't till Thursday, so the aim is to get all of regional anatomy done today so that I can just revise it for the next couple of days before the exam on Monday. Whereas embryology is not till Thursday, so that has time if I don't finish it today. So that's what I'm going to do. Lateral pelvic wall. Here I go. Today I finished the anatomical terms mind map I started yesterday. It helped me finalise what the movements are and things like that. I then got on with the lateral pelvic wall and finished that as well. Revising in my room again for some reason, even though I know it's not conducive with good learning, I still do it for some reason. But here I was revising the spine and spinal nerves and CNS repair and disrepair. So in the CNS, we all know that people don't often recover from severe brain damage, but why is that? So I'm going to tell you a little fun fact, because why not, I did learn this. It's not that the CNS cannot regenerate, the cells can regenerate, but the environment that they are in means they cannot, because it has too many glial cells which damage, act as immune cells and eat it away. So they can regenerate, but not in the environment they're in. I then finished with chili and cheese with crisps and fruit because I'm healthy, and then got on with more revision, more NAS revision. It was just about finishing as much of it as I could. NAS was quite challenging, I think overall. It was one of my hardest modules, and that's why it took me the longest, because it was just so much content I didn't actually know. I also did more PPP revision that night just to finalise some good things. I had a lovely run by the canal, and shock horror, I went to the library, this time in the main library, which I've not been in very often, so it was quite unusual. Found a spot and got on with my work. So to be perfectly honest, I'd completely not realised it was a weekend, and at this point I was like, I just want to get it done. So at this point I had 14 things on my to-do list still, and very shockingly to me as well, I finished 12 of them on this day. It was very impressive. So I focused in the library very well. It was great. It was so busy because exams were starting on the Monday, but I did a lot of revision. I had finished all of PPP, I finished all of regional anatomy, finished almost all of neurons and synapse, but it was so fun to sit in the library for a different scenery, and it was just so focused. So yeah, I finished PPP. This is the completed PPP document. It was around 12,000 words long at this point. It has been very helpful, and I'm sure it'll be even more useful when I get to the exams, because there are open books, so it'll be just Control F if I don't know something. I then went back to my flat, did the online revision session for PPP, which was very, very informative. She told me things I hadn't realised that I needed to know. She helped us understand models that I was still kind of stuck on. So I wrote some notes, added these to my PPP notes, and then finished off the evening with the reflexes, which was my last NAS topic. And then, very satisfyingly, I got to tick everything off by the end of the day. Now that surface anatomy and anatomical planes, I looked at it and it realised I'd done it already. So I took that off on Sunday without having to do anything, which is even better. So I finished off almost everything. The only thing left was embryology. And I finished off playing Animal Crossing in bed on the phone to my boyfriend, because you know, Animal Crossing, it was awesome. Now, once again, forgetting it was a weekend, I went to the library, which was empty when I got there at 9:30, but very quickly filled up, and everyone was sat in the library. My table was full, and I didn't really know any of them, but they were all really nice and offered to give me coffee when they went to get a drink, which was very sweet of them. I didn't take lunch because I was so convinced that I was going to finish embryology before lunch. Now let me tell you, I was so naive. So this day I had 8 embryology videos to watch. I had to watch them on my phone because the port where my headphones go into my laptop is broken, so I couldn't plug my headphones in. So I had to watch the video on my phone, put the pictures big on my laptop so I could read them, and do the notes on my iPad. But after 9 hours of focused, heavy work and a couple of snacks, I finished the entirety of embryology. I know, very happy. I then treated myself with a Domino's takeaway for dinner. Okay, so it is the end of Sunday and tomorrow is my first exam. So I finished everything. I finished everything on my to-do list, and I am going to spend tonight chilling because I need a break. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. It's been a long day at the library. What I thought would take me just to lunch took me 8.5 hours. So this week I have done over 50 hours of revision, and I don't feel terrible. I feel very prepared for these exams, and like I've put a good amount of effort into revising. This is definitely not how I'm going to revise for the exams in May that are closed book, but I didn't have time to get the way I want to revise down this semester, and I'm going to improve it for next semester, so we'll see how that goes. And I think, so this is bye, and see you next week for a week in the life of an exam week.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe.